A lot of people struggle financially, but they blame everything but themselves. They think I can't be rich because I lack money or a great idea. They blame the industry, their job, or not having the right connections. But from my experience, those aren't the real blocks. There's something deeper and more dangerous. What truly holds people back is ego. Ego disguised as logic, fear, and pride. You may think you don't have ego, but struggling financially doesn't mean you're free of it. When I was broke, ego wore many disguises, and they quietly destroyed my progress. Let me show you 13 ego traps that keep millions stuck for life. Comment below if you recognize even one of them. And if you think you don't have any, you're likely stuck. Let's start with number 1. The blame ego. Blaming ego says it's never my fault. It's the government, my boss, my family. I come from a dysfunctional background. That must be why I'll never be rich. My supervisor doesn't support me, so I'm stuck forever. Let me tell you about a guy named Eric. He blamed everything for his stagnant life. But the moment he took ownership, everything started shifting for him. He's holding me back. That's why I can't be rich. If that's your mindset, blame ego has won. Blame ego always has someone to point fingers at, but never owns the real problem. Point at others, and 3 fingers point back. Maybe the issue is closer than you think. Do you make excuses every time things go wrong? Then it's time to confront your blame ego. That brings us to number 2, the know-it-all ego. When I was broke, I thought I had all the answers. Didn't need books, mentors, or new ideas. I started multiple businesses, and everyone failed. Why? Because I refused to learn. Know-it-all ego is the loudest one in the room, but it keeps repeating failure, expecting success. Definition of insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly and hoping for a different result. Now let's talk about number 3, the fearful ego. This one doesn't scream. It whispers doubts into your daily decisions. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of rejection. They're all masks worn by fearful ego. Many people never start because they fear mistakes. But mistakes are often the first step to success. A guy once told me his fear of failing was louder than his desire to win. What if it doesn't work? What if you lose money or look foolish? Fear sounds convincing in your head, but it's rarely based on real facts. Fear is just false evidence appearing real. You believe a lie and avoid action. What if it does work? What if this is the moment it all changes? Fearful ego builds walls around opportunity, then blames fear for staying stuck. So now we meet ego number 4, the comfort zone ego. It whispers things like I'm good, I'm fine, but quiet ego is still ego. Comfort feels safe, but it's deceptive. Your income can't outgrow your ambition. Your comfort zone is your income ceiling. Step beyond it, and everything begins to grow. When you stop growing, you start silently fading. Do you feel stuck in good enough? That could be comfort zone ego whispering again. And when you see someone winning, does your brain whisper something harsh? Imagine walking down the street and hearing a red Ferrari roar past. Do you immediately think he's arrogant or spoiled? Most people do without even knowing why. Some even say must be daddy's money, or call her a gold digger if it's a woman. That right there is the judgmental ego at work. Reacting before thinking, projecting without knowing. You're not seeing facts. You're watching your own insecurity play out. You say he's not smart or she's not beautiful, but that says more about your own lens. How do you know he's not a family man? Someone who worked hard for that Ferrari. How do you know she didn't grind for that success and face battles you'll never see? Judgmental ego masks envy as morality and blocks you from seeing truth and opportunity. You saw the Ferrari and judged instantly. But how do you know his story? That man may have spent 30 years building success, and you dismissed him in 3 seconds. Before even knowing someone, judgmental ego fills the gaps with falsehoods. How can you ever attract wealth if you hate the image of success? Let's move to ego number 6. The excuses ego. You can make money or make excuses, but not both. Excuses are just well-rehearsed lies, stories you tell to feel safe from risk. I can't afford it, it's too far. Too hard, not enough experience. You can list a million reasons why not, but you only need one reason why you must. Now, let's talk about number 7. The people-pleasing ego. As long as everyone's happy, you think it's okay to shrink yourself. You don't want to rock the boat, but sometimes growth requires waves. People-pleasing ego sacrifices your dreams on the altar of approval. I once knew someone who said yes to everyone until they realized their own voice was silent. Even in airplanes, you put your mask first before helping anyone else. Sometimes being a little selfish is how you stay strong enough to give. You always put family first. But when was the last time you chose? You might call yourself selfless, but people-pleasing ego hides inside that too. Let's move to number 8. The justification ego. You say I'm too young, too old, I'm married, or I speak with an accent. These justifications may sound noble, but they are well-polished reasons to stay stuck. Don't use your kids as excuses. Use them as fuel to chase your dreams. Justification ego rewrites regret into false peace, but deep down, you still want more. Next comes number 9. The jealous ego. Rich people are greedy, or they probably cheated, right? Jealous ego masks envy as moral judgment, pretending you're above wanting what they have. You say success isn't a big deal, but deep down, you crave it too. Don't criticize what you've never tried. It's easier to point than to perform. Online, people judge content all the time, but few ever dare to create. If you've never built a channel, don't insult someone who did. Jealous ego masks itself as critique, but it's born from personal fear. Until you've impacted lives, your criticism is speculation, not wisdom. Now let's talk about ego number 10. The fake ego. Have you ever met someone who felt instantly fake? Like the vibe didn't match their energy. Some people walk in the room, and you instantly know something's off. They sound polished, maybe too polished, and you just don't feel the connection. But then there are people you instantly vibe with and trust. That's the difference between authenticity and performance. And fake ego lives in performance. You might be amazing at putting on a mask, but real success needs genuine connection. You've worn so many masks, you don't know which version is real anymore. Be yourself, everyone else is taken. And authenticity always wins in the long run. Don't chase love for the fake version of you. It's exhausting, and it never lasts. You don't need fake ego to be successful. You need conviction, not performance. Now, let's talk about number 11. The shy ego. I'm just shy. I'm not good with people. That's the shy ego giving comfort disguised as truth. It keeps you in your bubble, where safety is more important than success. I used to be painfully shy, introverted, quiet, terrified of speaking. I had no friends, couldn't speak the language. Awkwardness haunted every conversation. Even now I feel that awkwardness sometimes. but I refuse to let it hold me back. Wanting success means breaking the shy shell, even if it's uncomfortable or slow. Your personality isn't your prison. It can evolve with intention and courage. Number 12 is one of the most common traps. The other people's opinions ego. You want to make a bold move, but you worry what others will think, even when you know it's the right decision. You freeze because of imaginary backlash. These people might be family or old school friends, but their opinions aren't your blueprint. You post something online, and a few haters appear. You let one troll stop your momentum, giving power to someone you'll never meet. Most people don't care about your dreams, but you let their silence dictate your success. You stop sharing your gifts because someone with zero vision criticized you. Stop shrinking to fit other people's comfort zones. Step into your spotlight without apology. Other people's opinions won't pay your bills, and they won't build your legacy. Haters gonna hate, critics will always speak, but their noise should never silence your purpose. You do what you know is right, even when others don't get it. And now we arrive at number 13, the do-it-yourself ego. This ego says if you want it done right, you've got to do it yourself. It sounds strong, even noble, but really it's a disguise for mistrust. You say I don't trust him or her, but deep down, you don't trust collaboration. Nothing great is built by one person. The greatest empires needed a team. Do-it-yourself ego keeps entrepreneurs small by refusing to delegate or trust. A solo mindset creates burnout, while shared vision builds greatness. Don't let do-it-yourself ego convince you that asking for help is weakness. Going to the next level requires letting go of the need to control everything alone. Massive do-it-yourself ego can feel productive, but it quietly caps your potential. Comment below, honestly, how many of these egos do you recognize? If you claim to have none, that might be the biggest ego of all. I had many of these myself, and some still sneak in today. Self-awareness isn't perfection. It's the power to rise above your patterns. If you want help removing these blocks, join me on a 7-week transformation. By the end, you won't recognize the old you old, because you'll finally see your real self. Financially, mentally, emotionally, you'll evolve into someone that can rise. Click the link, don't hesitate. Your shift starts the moment you decide. If even one ego hit you deeply today, this is your cue to evolve and ascend. Don't just watch this. Rewatch it, reflect, then act on it. Subscribe to Capital Ascend and become the version of you wealth is waiting for.